Harvesting that monsoon rain is now more affordable. We'll tell you how. Nearly 900 students soaked up lessons on groundwater, conservation, and more. And the City of Tucson offers sandbags to help with flood control. These stories and more coming up next in Tucson. Hi, I'm Lane Mandel. Thanks for joining us. Today, we'll tell you what's happening in Tucson. Recently, Tucson Water partnered with the U of A to teach kids about water in some unconventional ways. We'll tag along on the field trip in just a moment, but first, Tucson Water shows us what we can do at home to harvest rainwater.
The annual monsoon brings welcomed relief to the Arizona desert. Rain, rain, and more rain. Streets and yards flood, and much of this precious water becomes wasted runoff. A local resident turned her yard into a water harvesting oasis.
My yard was absolutely transformed. It was absolutely transformed. And I love that about it. Just using berms and basins and very, very simple landscaping techniques, you can change your yard and harvest all the water that falls out of the sky and comes off of your structures can stay on your property. So it's pretty cool.
To encourage more rainwater harvesting, the city has a new rebate program.
To qualify for the rebate programs, there's just a couple of things. It has to be a homeowner. It has to be a Tucson Water customer. And the primary thing about this program is it's more about education.
You'll notice that in this case and in a lot of basins, in my pictures and around town, we use different organic mulches.
To apply for a rebate, you must complete a 3-hour class where you will review various water harvesting techniques and develop a project plan. After taking the class, you can decide which of 2 rebate levels to apply for. The first level, up to $300, is basically for smaller projects, like using rocks to create basins. On the second level, you can receive up to $2,000 for larger projects, like installing a cistern. Susan installed a 600-gallon cistern to bring health and vitality to her plants and trees, and found there is an extra benefit to harvesting the rain.
It makes the plants more vibrant. They're greener. The enzymes that are in rainwater are much better for the plants than city water or irrigation water. And they really do pop. Like if you watch plants after rain, they pop. It just makes you feel good. You feel like you're doing something to be a part of the bigger picture. And I'm conserving water. I'm conserving water, which in the desert is imperative. It's just imperative. How else are we going to do it? So.
To learn more about rainwater harvesting, visit TucsonAZ.gov/water/RWH-rebate or call 791-4331.
I may just have to sign up for a workshop. Now let's head out to the Tucson Water Festival, where area 4th graders learned about water in an outdoor classroom.
Nearly 900 students from the Amphitheater School District gathered for 2 hours of hands-on learning.
Don't get snaked! Don't get snaked! Don't get snaked! Yes, I didn't get snaked!
It was the Tucson Water Festival, put together by the UA's Arizona Project WET in partnership with Tucson Water. The program facilitated learning through the use of models and whole-body lessons to get kids exploring and discovering on their own.
What do you know about the water cycle right now?
These 4th graders learned that the water cycle is more than just a big circle.
And we actually teach them that there's actually 9 different places that you'll find water in the Earth system, and that water's constantly moving, constantly changing forms as it moves through that system.
So how is water going to get from the ocean to the clouds? What's going to happen? Nathan? Right.
Another station focused on groundwater.
So how do we get water out of the ground? Yeah. So they pump the water out. And do we have a pump on our model here? Yeah, we do.
So we focus on the groundwater system. It's a really complex system, but really important here in Tucson, where we rely on groundwater really now for our whole water supply.
We are going to pump water out of our model so we can understand how it works and how it changes what it looks like underground, okay?
Wait until it gets to 100.
Why does it go down into the ground? What brings it down underground? Yeah. Gravity, yes.
The Tucson Water Festival was more than a one-day event. The program included 7 hours of professional development training for teachers.
I've learned some more hands-on activities for my kids, a different way of teaching my kids than maybe just the worksheets that we might have done otherwise. It's been a lot of fun, and the kids have learned more.
Pre- and post-festival classroom lessons were taught to help solidify today's content.
And now we're out here having the book come alive in activities. And you hear them say, oh, we learned about this in class. So that's kind of nice to see how they're remembering what I taught them, but now they're seeing it that it's not just in the classroom that they need to know it.
In the end, did the kids soak up the material?
I learned how what the water cycle works. Like if you're a molecule in the ocean, it takes really hard to evaporate up to the clouds.
I learned a lot about groundwater, animals, water, and we did like some fun stuff on games. Like we did that bucket game where we had swoop the bucket.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
They're also building vocabulary with all these words and using physical movements to learn them, which is just great because they're really getting it that way.
Let me ask you one more question. Do you live in a watershed?
We do live in a watershed, and a watershed is an area of land that can soak up the water that's coming down from a high area.
The goal of the Tucson Water Festival was to provide students with a foundational knowledge of water.
And that they walk away as water stewards, knowing that we live in a desert and that we've got to protect our water supply and make sure that we have enough for the future.
It comes up as evaporation, forms a cloud of condensation, comes back down as precipitation. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Don't forget percolation and runoff.
Moving on from the water cycle to flood control, the City of Tucson offered residents sandbags to help protect their properties from flooding.
The more rain that came down on Station 7, the more residents seemed to appear at the west end of the station.
I heard about that they were giving away sandbags here at the fire station 7, so we decided to come and get 10 sandbags so that we could prevent anybody from falling in the water out front of the apartment complex.
This is a pilot program put together by the Tucson Department of Transportation to provide sandbags to residents needing help with flood control.
The fire department has been gracious enough to let us use one of their sites that's really centrally located midtown so that everyone has an opportunity to come get them.
I think it's great. We've been trying to get some for the last 2 seasons. It seems like they're always out, but I'm really happy to be able to get them today. We can really use them.
Hi! Free sandbags! Free sandbags!
Debbie Garcia also had a need for the sandbags. Her backyard has no drainage, which leads to flooding.
And we're about 5 feet below the alley, so we've implemented a lot of flood measures over the years, but sandbags is the final one without having to do a major construction project.
In less than a week, nearly 2,000 sandbags were distributed.
My day's work.
Today, a steady stream of residents continues to take measures to protect their properties.
They seem very appreciative. I mean, I've gotten a lot of thank yous. I've gotten a lot of people come out here and express their appreciation toward this program and that it's really going to help them protect their property.
The sandbags are free with a limit of 10 per carload. Please be prepared to load your own vehicle.
I think it's a great idea. It's nice the city's, making an effort to do something like this because, when it comes, I mean, we definitely have flooding problems in this town.
Pre-filled sandbags will be available at the west side of Station 7 through the end of the monsoon or late September.
Thank you to the city. You guys are doing a great job on this program.
That wraps it up for this edition. I hope you enjoyed our water-filled show. I'm Lane Mandel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in Tucson.